Imagine you're in an important meeting, surrounded by influential people. One of your colleagues, without any apparent reason, publicly criticizes your work, attempting to discredit your ideas. The atmosphere heats up and everyone is expecting a reaction from you. The urge to respond is strong, but for a brief moment, you consider another possibility. What if silence was your most powerful response? This is at the heart of Stoic philosophy. Let's explore how silence in critical situations can be not only a choice but a path to true strength. 1. When unjustly criticized. Being unjustly criticized can trigger a flood of emotions: anger, frustration, a desire to defend yourself. However, Stoicism teaches us that rather than reacting impulsively, we should seek inner peace. When someone criticizes us, it's not the criticism itself that hurts, but how we choose to interpret it. This is where silence becomes a valuable tool. By choosing not to respond immediately, you give yourself time to process and discern what is useful, discarding what is not. This silence is not passive, it's strategic. It allows you to remain calm while assessing the situation with clarity. As Marcus Aurelius said, "What disturbs you is not the event, but the judgment you make about it." By internalizing this truth, you can transform criticism into an opportunity for learning rather than a source of pain. How many times has a thoughtless response only made things worse? Staying silent in the face of injustice can be the path to true peace. Criticism often reveals more about the critic than the criticized. By remaining silent, you demonstrate confidence in yourself, without needing to prove anything to anyone. This quiet confidence is rare in a world that so highly values immediate defense. More than that, you preserve your dignity, showing that your worth is not defined by the words of others. Practicing silence in the face of criticism also inspires respect. Those around you will see that you are not easily shaken, and that in itself is a form of strength. And what is more powerful than staying calm amidst chaos? This calm reflects deep self-control, the hallmark of a true Stoic. In the end, silence is an active choice, not an omission. It's a way of saying, "I control my responses. I'm not a slave to others' provocations." Next time someone tries to unjustly criticize you, remember, silence can be your greatest defense. 2. Silence amid boastfulness. Who hasn't encountered someone who can't stop talking about their own achievements? It can be tempting to try to match their narrative, to respond with your own accomplishments. But as Stoicism teaches us, real power lies in silence. When we remain quiet in the face of others' vanity, we show that we are secure in our own worth. We don't need to show off because our actions speak for themselves. This practice of silence in the face of boastfulness also protects us from getting caught up in unnecessary competition. By not engaging, we conserve energy to focus on what truly matters: our inner growth. The Stoic understands that true value doesn't come from external recognition, but from personal satisfaction with our virtues and actions. Remaining quiet while others boast also reveals great confidence. When you listen without needing to intervene, it shows that you are comfortable with who you are. Silent confidence once again speaks louder than any long speech about accomplishments. It also allows you to observe and learn from others' behavior, without being dragged down by the superficiality of comparisons. Not responding to others' vanity is an act of maturity. It shows that you know how to choose your battles and prefer to invest your energy in your own progress. By observing in silence, you also gain a better understanding of the people around you, which can be a great advantage in various social and professional situations. By practicing silence in this context, you elevate yourself. Quiet humility is powerful and leaves a lasting mark on people. The next time someone starts bragging, try remaining silent and see the positive impact it can have on your own inner peace. If you've made it this far, it's a sign that these Stoic teachings resonate with you in some way, right? So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share it with someone you think could also benefit from these practices. Your comments are also very important to us, so feel free to leave your opinion or suggestion below, and let's get back to the video. 3. When dealing with anger. Anger is a powerful emotion, but it can also be one of the most destructive. How many times have we reacted with harsh words only to regret it later? Stoicism invites us to practice silence as a way of controlling anger and preventing it from consuming us. By staying silent, we give ourselves the gift of time. Time to reflect, breathe, and think before acting. When we're angry, our words are often driven by impulse rather than reason. Silence allows us to regain control over our emotions, preventing us from doing or saying something we might later regret. As Epicurus said, "Be silent most of the time, and speak only when necessary." This is especially true in moments of anger. Keeping silent doesn't mean ignoring what we feel, but choosing a wise response. This pause gives us the opportunity to understand the true cause of our anger and find more constructive solutions. Often, a simple moment of silence can turn a conflict into a productive conversation. In this case, silence is a form of protection, both for yourself and for others. Moreover, silence in the midst of anger demonstrates self-control, one of the greatest Stoic virtues. Not allowing others to control your emotions is a sign of strength. After all, who is truly strong? The one who explodes in anger, or the one who, amidst chaos, maintains their peace? Stoicism teaches that we should always seek the second option. So, the next time you feel anger taking over, try silence. Not as a way of suppressing your emotions, but as a strategy to handle them more wisely and constructively. When used correctly, silence can be one of the most powerful tools for inner peace. 4. Silence in the face of rumors. Rumors are like a gust of wind, spreading information that is often unfounded. When we find ourselves in the midst of a rumor, the instinct is often to respond, to try to clarify or debunk it. But Stoicism teaches us that rather than responding quickly, we should remain silent. After all, as Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." When someone spreads rumors about you, silence can be your greatest defense. It shows confidence and security, while not feeding into the gossip. By not reacting, you break the feedback loop that rumors often generate. The truth will eventually prevail, and silence can be the quickest path to that. The choice of silence also prevents you from falling into the trap of constantly justifying yourself. Justifications often sound defensive and can give more weight to the rumor. By staying silent, you allow your actions and integrity to speak for themselves, without the need to explain every situation. Rumors are often fueled by curiosity. When you don't offer answers, curiosity eventually dissipates. The Stoic understands that we don't always have control over what others say about us, but we have full control over how we react, and silence can be a powerful and wise response. Lastly, silence in the face of rumors reinforces your character. It shows that you are focused on what really matters: your integrity, your actions, and your purpose. Let the rumors die from lack of fuel. Over time, your character will prevail, and the gossip will prove to be hollow. 5. Dealing with loss. Few things in life are as painful as loss. It might be the loss of a loved one, a job, or an opportunity. Stoicism, however, offers a unique approach to dealing with this pain: reflective silence. Instead of running from the pain or trying to fill it with distractions, the Stoic seeks silence to process and find meaning in the loss. By embracing silence after a loss, you create space for reflection and healing. Stoicism teaches us that everything in life is temporary, and that loss is part of the natural cycle of things. Instead of fighting it, the Stoic seeks to accept and learn from the experience, turning pain into wisdom. Silence also allows you to deal with your emotions in a healthier way. There's no need to rush to get over the pain. Instead, the Stoic accepts suffering as part of life, allowing it to unfold in its own time. Silence here is a form of respect for the grieving and recovery process. Moreover, silence after loss offers an opportunity to find gratitude. The Stoic recognizes that, although they have lost something, they also had the chance to experience what they lost. This perspective transforms pain into a deep appreciation for life's impermanence. Finally, silence in the face of loss is a demonstration of inner strength. Instead of trying to fill the void with distractions or immediate responses, the Stoic allows silence to reveal deep lessons. Loss is not the end, but part of a larger cycle, and silence helps us see beyond immediate pain, finding meaning and growth. It's in this space of quietude that true healing begins, where the Stoic reconnects with life's fleeting nature. 6. Navigating ignorance with Stoic grace. We've all encountered people who, despite having no knowledge of a subject, insist on acting as experts. This kind of ignorance can be frustrating, but Stoicism teaches us to maintain calm and grace in such situations. Instead of arguing or immediately correcting them, the Stoic chooses silence, allowing actions and time to reveal the truth. Silence in the face of ignorance is not passive acceptance, but a conscious choice to not waste energy on unproductive debates. Often those who speak without knowledge seek validation or a reaction. By not giving them that response, you preserve your peace and allow them to reveal, on their own, the lack of foundation in their arguments. Silence here is a form of protection and self-control. Additionally, silence provides space for observation. Instead of engaging in a discussion that probably won't go anywhere, the Stoic uses silence to better understand the situation and the other person's motivations. This time for reflection allows you to respond with wisdom if necessary, or simply choose not to respond, avoiding unnecessary confrontations. The Stoic also understands that we cannot control others' ignorance, but we can control how we react to it. By choosing silence, you choose not to be affected by others' lack of knowledge, preserving your inner balance. This choice demonstrates maturity and a deep understanding that true control lies within us. Finally, silence in the face of ignorance can be an act of compassion. Often people speak out of insecurity or fear. By not confronting them, you avoid unnecessary humiliation and allow them eventually to arrive at the truth on their own. Silence in this case is a path of patience and empathy. 7. Dealing with insults. Few things can throw us off balance as quickly as a direct insult. The urge to react, to defend ourselves, or to return the insult is natural. However, Stoicism teaches us that silence is the best response. By remaining silent in the face of an insult, we show that we are not controlled by others' emotions, and that our inner peace does not depend on their words. Silence in the face of insults is a sign of self-control. When you choose not to react, you give yourself the power to choose your battles. An insult is often an attempt to provoke and throw you off balance. By not responding, you maintain your strength and don't allow others to control your emotions. Furthermore, the Stoic understands that the insult reveals more about the insulter than the insulted. By remaining silent, you demonstrate unshakable confidence, showing that your actions and character are more important than the words others say. This silence is a powerful shield against negativity. Silence can also disarm the aggressor. When someone expects a reaction and doesn't get it, this often cuts the cycle of aggression. You remain in control while the other, realizing their words haven't had the desired effect, tends to calm down. Stoicism teaches us that true power lies in not being shaken by provocations. Finally, silence in the face of insults is a demonstration of wisdom. You choose not to be dragged into unnecessary arguments, preserving your peace and dignity. By practicing silence, you strengthen your emotional resilience and show that your value does not lie in others' words, but in your own virtues. 8. When confronted with injustice. Injustice is one of the most challenging situations we have to deal with. Instinct often drives us to react with anger or seek revenge. However, Stoicism teaches us that silence can be a powerful response to injustice. It doesn't mean passively accepting what's wrong, but rather choosing with wisdom the right moment and way to act. In this case, silence does not signify weakness. It allows you to maintain your dignity while planning a more strategic and effective response. By not reacting impulsively, you preserve your energy to act in ways that truly make a difference. The Stoic understands that revenge rarely brings true justice, and that self-control is the greatest demonstration of strength. Moreover, silence can be a form of peaceful resistance. By not engaging in verbal confrontations, you refuse to feed the cycle of violence and aggression. This doesn't mean you are ignoring injustice, but instead choosing a response that preserves your inner peace and keeps your morals intact. As Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike those who cause the injury. Remaining silent in the face of injustice can also be a form of empathy. By listening without reacting, you give space to better understand what's behind the unjust action. This understanding can open doors to more effective and reconciliatory solutions. The Stoic seeks justice, but also harmony, and silence can be a path to both. Finally, silence in the face of injustice allows you to keep your focus on what truly matters, your values and principles. Rather than being dragged down by feelings of revenge or anger, Stoic remains firm in their ideals, choosing to act with wisdom and compassion. In this context, silence is a sign of strength and integrity. 9. How to deal with insults. Few things can throw us off balance as quickly as a direct insult. The urge to react, defend ourselves, or respond in kind is natural. However, Stoicism teaches us that silence is the best response. By remaining silent in the face of an insult, we show that we are not controlled by others' emotions, and that our inner peace does not depend on the words of others. Silence in the face of insults is a sign of self-control. When you choose not to react, you give yourself the power to choose your battles. An insult is often an attempt to provoke you and disrupt your balance. By not responding, you maintain your strength and don't allow others to control your emotions. Moreover, the Stoic understands that an insult reveals more about the insulter than the insulted. By remaining silent, you demonstrate unshakable confidence, showing that your actions and character are more important than the words others say. This silence is a powerful shield against negativity. Silence can also disarm the aggressor. When someone expects a reaction and doesn't receive it, it often cuts off the cycle of aggression. You stay in control, while the other person, realizing their words haven't had the desired effect, tends to calm down. Stoicism teaches us that true power lies in not being shaken by provocations. Finally, silence in the face of insults is a demonstration of wisdom. You choose not to be drawn into unnecessary arguments, preserving your peace and dignity. By practicing silence, you reinforce your emotional resilience and show that your value is not determined by the words of others but by your own virtues. Conclusion. Silence, as Stoicism teaches us, is not a lack of action, but a powerful and conscious choice. In each of the situations we've explored, from criticism to injustice, from anger to insults, silence emerges as a tool of self-control, wisdom, and inner strength. By practicing silence, we become masters of our reactions, preserving our peace and growing in character. These 9 key moments where silence can be a stronger response than words offer a new perspective on how to navigate life with grace and serenity. By incorporating Stoic silence into our lives, we not only find inner peace but also inspire others to do the same. After all, as Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." Thank you for joining us on this Stoic journey. Remember always, the power to shape our happiness lies in our own hands, and through the constant practice of virtue and understanding of the things within our control, we can find peace and fulfillment. Keep exploring the depths of Stoicism in your daily life. Before you go, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with others who might benefit from Stoic wisdom. Until next time, may Stoic wisdom light your way.